World History class, welcome to the end of Unit 3. We've reached the end of a unit, which means you have another summative assessment, another assignment that will go into the 80% portion of your grade, so you want to make sure that you do a good job on this assignment. Like Unit 2, you have another summative assessment essay. Unlike Unit 2, you only have one essay that you need to write. And so I want to use this video to make sure that you know exactly what those expectations are and how to strategically approach this essay so that you can get the best grade possible, so that this essay can be something that brings your grade up rather than down. Let's start by reading the essay. Choose 3 phenomena, a fancy word for things, that we studied during our unit on Greece and Rome. For each phenomenon, thing, write a paragraph, no less than 5 sentences, that explains in detail why it was such an important part of this ancient civilization, as well as how the legacy of this phenomenon can be seen in modern Western civilization today. Be sure to include specific examples from both past and present in your explanations. So the first tip I have for you is selecting your phenomena. And don't let these terms confuse you. A phenomenon is a fancy word for a thing, and phenomena is the plural of that word. So you're selecting 3 phenomena, 3 things that we studied in this unit that you can write an essay about. And you have to be specific in what you select because you have to be able to make connections between these phenomena and Western civilization today. And so when I look back at what we focused on in this unit on Greece and Rome, there are 4 main things that stick out to me. We looked at Greek democracy, we looked at Greek philosophy, we looked at the Roman Republic, and we looked at Christianity. All 4 of these things, these phenomena, were central features of the ancient civilizations of either Greece or Rome, and all 4 have pretty strong connections with Western civilization today. You can find the legacy of all 4 of these things in the modern day United States. And so your selection process could be as simple as determining the 3 of those 4 things that you feel the most comfortable writing about. And I give you 4 options there, but you don't have to be limited to those options. For example, if in the textbook or in the videos that you watched on Greece and on Rome, you feel there is another connection that you can make between these ancient civilizations and modern Western civilization, whether that's like arts and architecture or something of that nature, feel free to take the liberty to do that. If you feel good about it and you feel knowledgeable about it and you feel that there's a connection there in how we can see the history of Greece and Rome in modern day Western civilization like the United States, then you go for it. But this is the first tip to writing a good essay, selecting your 3 phenomena, your 3 things that you feel good writing about, not only the history of these 3 things in Greece and in Rome, but how that history is reflected in Western civilization today. My second tip is in regards to writing about the history of the phenomena that you choose. And so you're writing 3 paragraphs, and the history of the 3 phenomena that you choose should make up the bulk of those paragraphs. And so you're making connections with today, but we didn't study the Republic in the United States of America, or democracy in the United States, or Christianity in the United States as much as we did the history of these phenomena in ancient Greece, in ancient Rome. And so I want you to spend the greater part of those paragraphs showing me that you know something, that you learned something about the history of the phenomena that you selected. And notice some of the key words in this essay prompt. In detail, specific examples. This means that I want you to demonstrate knowledge specific to the ancient civilizations that we studied. So like, for example, if you talk about the Greek democracy or the Roman Republic, two different but similar types of government, which both kind of reflect the government we have in the modern day United States, you should describe to me some specifics of these governmental systems. Show me that you know some people and some terms and some functions of Greek democracy, of the Roman Republic. Use that article that you read about democracy in ancient Athens. Use that SHEG activity that you did about the Roman Republic. Use the videos. Use the textbook notes. Show me that you've learned something. Show me that you know something. Show me that you kind of get the history of these three phenomena that you've selected. And that you kind of have an understanding of why these phenomena were so important to the civilizations in which they existed. My third tip has to do with making connections between the history of Western civilization and Western civilization today. And so, like I said in my previous tip, you should spend the majority of your paragraphs focusing on the history of the phenomena that you select. However, an important part of the paragraphs will still be making the connection with Western civilization today. This is a world history class, so first and foremost, I want you to show me you know something about history. But I said it before and I'll say it again. What I think makes history, the study of history, so important is the ability that the study of history gives us to make sense of the world that we live in today. And so that will be a key part of each of your paragraphs, to show me that not only do you understand Greek democracy, Greek philosophy, the Roman Republic, Christianity in the Roman Empire, or whatever other phenomenon you might choose to write about, not only do you understand the history of that phenomenon, but you understand how that history helps us to understand Western civilization today, or shows us the roots of something that we can see in Western civilization today. The present is a product of the past. This is the idea of historical consciousness, which we talked about. If you're watching this right after the Christianity lesson, you just did this exercise, this intellectual exercise through that unit. Show me again that you can do it here with all three of the phenomena that you choose. Show me that you can take that knowledge of the history of the phenomena that you're writing about and use that knowledge to make sense of something in your world, Western civilization in the United States of America in 2020 in your life. My last tip is the number of paragraphs and the number of sentences. Do you need 3 paragraphs, each writing about 3 different phenomena? Yes. Do you need at least 5 sentences in each of those paragraphs? Yes. I will be counting, and I do want to see that. However, I do not want you to get tunnel vision on these numbers. When you start writing a paragraph on, say, Greek democracy, on, say, Christianity in the Roman Empire, the first thought in your mind should not be, how do I write 5 sentences about this phenomenon? The first thought in your mind should be, how can I show Bagaman that I understand the history of this phenomenon and how that history connects with today? How can I give Bagaman specific examples, describe in detail this history and the connection between this history and today? How can I do that thoroughly? And if these are the first thoughts, if these are the thoughts that guide your writing, my guess is that you're going to end up with paragraphs with at least 5 sentences. So 5 sentences in a way is kind of an arbitrary number. I do think that a good paragraph will probably have at least that many sentences, but the only reason I put it in there is because I think if you give me less than that, like for example, if you give me a paragraph of 2 or 3 sentences, then I just don't think there's any way that you're accomplishing the higher expectations that I have for you. Describing thoroughly the history of the phenomena that you choose in detail with specific examples, and then making a connection to today, also with an example that has some specificity to it. So do you need 3 paragraphs? Yes. Do you need 5 sentences? Yes, but you should not get hung up on those details. First, write quality paragraphs that show me you're learning. My guess is if you count those sentences after you're done with those goals in mind, you're gonna hit the numbers I'm asking you to hit anyway. So, hopefully this video is helpful. If it's not, or if you have more questions or need more clarity, I'm here. Send me emails. We can set up a phone call. We can set up a Google Meet. I want you to do well on those essays, and if you need further support from me in order to do well on these essays, please give me the opportunity to provide that support. There are way too many kids who are right now struggling in my class who wouldn't be struggling as much if they asked questions, if they reached out to me and allowed me to give the support that I'm giving to some of their peers who are greatly benefiting from the support that they're advocating for. So I look forward to reading some quality essays. I really hope that I get contacted by some of you who feel like you need some extra support or have some questions. And hopefully I'll see you soon when I'm back from my COVID-related quarantine. Adios.